Welcome to Revelation Unraveled. I'm your host, William Tapley, also known as the third eagle of the apocalypse and the co-prophet of these end times. Well, I had not planned on doing any more videos on that evil one world religion symbol. However, just last night I got a very interesting email from one of my subscribers who calls himself Joe Schmo. And let me read you his message. He said, "Hi, how are you doing, Mr. Tapley? Love your channel. I was looking at an article about some of the newest crop circles. Now, this crop circle, which he is talking about, was discovered on August 23rd in Essex, England. And guess what symbol I saw?" Well, thank you very much, Joe. And we are going to talk about this because this is a sign from Satan. That's what crop circles are. They are given to us through the demonic powers, which are attained through human sacrifice. And this is why Satan can show us UFOs and other demonic manifestations, such as crop circles. And the human sacrifice, which gives him this power, is legalized abortion. And of course, both Britain and America partake in this horrible brutality. And this is why Satan can give us his symbols of the one world religion, not only in the taken over Vatican, but also in these fields, especially in the United Kingdom. So now I want to show you a brief clip from a video by Matthew Williams, and I will give a link below so that you can watch the entire video. Now, I fully realize that some people claim these crop circles are made by vandals, and that is possible. But remember, Satan hates humanity, and he would delight in destroying the work of this farmer. In other words, destroying some of his crop. And please note that the lines of the cultivator go directly down the center of this crop circle. And that's very important, because it divides the form at the bottom into two different horns on each side. And of course, you who have been watching this channel recently know that this is an almost perfect rendition of the one world religion symbol. You have the two horns at the bottom, which symbolize the false prophet and the Antichrist, and you have the circle in the center, which symbolizes Satan. In other words, the unholy trinity of these end times. And it's interesting to count these elements also. There are three elements which have been mown down. That would be the lighter sections. There are three darker sections, and that indicates the grass which has not been cut down. And when you add those together, of course, you get 6. But with the cultivator lines down the middle, that gives you 6 sections which have been mown down and 6 which have been left standing. And of course, that yields the number of the Antichrist, 666. Now, some websites are trying to claim this crop circle has to do with moon phases or with gravity or magnetism. However, that does not explain the numerology. In other words, there is a large outer section that is mowed, a circle which is mowed, and a center circle which is mowed. That's 3 mowed sections. Then there are 3 sections that remain of the crop. A circle here, a circle surrounding that, and the arc at the bottom. And of course, when you divide this crop circle in half with the cultivator lines, then you get 6 sections each. And of course, we saw this same one world religion symbol at the canonization of Pope John the 23rd and Pope John Paul II, as celebrated at the taken over Vatican 4 months ago by Pope Francis. And it's pretty obvious the similarity between this symbol, which dominated St. Peter's Square. This was a floral display. Its similarity with the recent crop circle just given this past week by Satan in Essex, England. However, I really don't think I should leave you with these two evil images. Remember, God does not leave us orphans. He is going to defeat these evil symbols through his Blessed Mother. And as we can see in this image of Our Lady of Guadalupe, painted by Almighty God himself and given to that great Saint Juan Diego in Mexico, Mary is standing on the moon, but it's in the form of two horns. This is an image of Our Lady as found in Revelation 12:1. The woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet. And the sun that she is blotting out is the sun in the center of that evil symbol, and that symbolizes Satan. Thus we see that Mary is destined to defeat the unholy trinity of the end times. She stands on the two horns. She blots out the sun. And let's not forget that, in other words, we are part of the seed of the woman who will attain the victory. That means that we must pray Mary's rosary. When David defeated Goliath, he chose 5 smooth pebbles. Those 5 pebbles prefigured Mary's rosary. I have never said that Jesus will not defeat the Antichrist. Of course. It is the power of Almighty God who prevails. But we also need to know how he does it, because we are involved in the victory. We are the ones who will provide Jesus with his weapon. We will pray Mary's rosary. We are those 5 smooth pebbles which he will throw at Goliath, that he will throw at the Antichrist. And that is how we will defeat this evil symbol which we see in the crop circle, which we see at the Vatican. We defeat that symbol by Our Lady of Guadalupe. And if you would like more information, please check out my new thirdeaglemedia.com website.